Hi guys, it's me, Trudy Lee. How's everybody doing? It is very hot here. We started out really cool this morning. I got up about 7 o'clock, went outside, had my coffee out on the deck. It was 68 degrees. That's the only time of day you can go out. It's like 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. And it was nice and cool. There was a breeze blowing. So me and Addie Cat and Frazier, the other kitty, were all out on the deck. Addie Cat doesn't like to go outside as much anymore. She only goes out when I'm physically there with her, and she stays right on the deck. She'll look at things and maybe chase a bug, but she's not interested in going too far away from Mama anymore. Anyway, hope y'all are doing well. My family still doesn't have electricity. They live in Cleveland. My mother's house is in Cleveland, and I've got two sisters and a brother living in her house, and they have no electricity. But they do have a generator so that they can keep their refrigerator going. They have plenty of refrigerators, so they're keeping their food from spoiling. But I think it's pretty hot. I don't think the air conditioners can run off the generator, so it's probably getting kind of hot there. My youngest sister that lives there, she's the one that has leukemia, and she went to go stay with her son because she needs to be in the air conditioning. She needs to take care of herself, so she had to leave. And then when she went to go stay with her son, her daughter-in-law and her broke down on the freeway, and they got stuck out on the freeway for like, I don't know, an hour and a half or something like that. So God bless them. It's just from one thing to the next. Also, they're still out of power in Seabrook. So Cleveland is like north of Houston, close to Kingwood area in Houston. Then there's Cleveland. It's very close to Conroe, all that area right there. That's where the power was out. And Seabrook's on the other side. It's closer to Galveston. They're still out of power too. So that's a big, distance between each other. My sister said she was looking at the power grid, and it looked like that. It looks like not that many people are without power, and she thinks that they're just playing a game, that that's not really reflective of what's going on. So I don't know if they can actually do that, but she said my mother's house, that area in Cleveland, it wasn't even on the grid. So she reported that the house has outage, which I'm sure everybody's all reported anyway. But anyway, she said it doesn't reflect all the people that are out of electricity. And, if you look on Twitter or X, whatever it's called, people are so upset with Greg Abbott, the governor here. He was out of the country when this happened. He did not ask for federal assistance from Biden for days and days after the hurricane hit. So, yeah, he's just... and Ted Cruz, he was out of town too. Yeah. Anyway, that's what you get when you elect these kind of people. Hopefully, the people of Texas will wake up. I just wish the state would turn blue. I hope so. I just pray that it does. And then today, Shelley Duvall passed. She was 75 years old. They said she passed in her sleep from diabetes complications. And, I always thought that Robert Duvall was her father. I've always thought that all these years. And then when I was reading about her, I was like, where's Robert Duvall? And I looked it up, and no, he doesn't have children. I'm like, oh, I've been wrong all these years. I just assumed with that name that it was, her dad. But it's not. And she lives about 25 miles from me. So I live in Bulverde, Texas, just north of San Antonio, and she lives in Blanco. So about 25 miles down the road. And that's something, I never even knew that. But when I was reading about her passing away, they said she lives in Blanco, Texas. Like, oh, wow. Small world, small world. But God bless her and all those that she loves. I remember her in Popeye and in The Shining. Now, I know she played in a lot of other things, but those two movies really stick out with me. I don't watch a lot of movies, but I remember those movies. I loved her in Popeye. She was quite an actress. but we'll miss her. So AOC filed impeachment articles against Justice Thomas and Justice Alito because she said she was going to do it, and I mentioned it in my last video, and now she's done it. So, she would make a wonderful president. She really would. I would love to see her as president. She's got the ballsiness to tell it like it is, and there's a lot of representatives that just kind of sit on the fence, and they're in that gray area. They're not sure whether they should say something or not, but she's just like black and white. It's either wrong or it's right, and there's no gray area, and that's what I love about her. She's bold, she's courageous, and I'm wondering, I asked Spirit, so I've asked Spirit a bunch of different questions that I have answers to, and I was just wondering, does she have her eye on becoming president one day? Is this something that, she grew up, some little girls grew up saying, I want to be president. Does she want to be president? That's what I want to know. So what I'm getting is that she truly, truly loves her job, and she feels that she can be very effective where she is. Okay? And, 8 years and you're done being, if you get reelected, 8 years, you're done, you're out. She could be there and be effective for many, many years. So if things change, which would be well off into the future, she would make that decision when the time is right. But I feel like her eye is not on becoming president. That's not what she's here to do, to become president. She loves what she's doing. She was very proud of herself and the work that she's done. And she has a right to be. She has such a fierce loyalty to Biden and the people that she represents. So that's the person that you need representing you. She's perfect at it. So, yeah, maybe in the future she may change her mind, but right now that's not even on her radar. She's not even thinking about that. So, did she make Justice Thomas nervous? Is he getting nervous? That's what I want to know. He's very arrogant. That's number one. He feels like he's untouchable, And he is, as long as he's protected by the other justices, he's untouchable. So to him, this is just like a rough patch. He's got a real thick skin, y'all. He really does. So he's just waiting for everything. This is a rough patch. I'm going to wait for everything. Everything will change. It'll die down. We're just going through a rough patch. So, just like, everybody was talking about his wife for a while, and then it kind of died down, and now they're talking about her again, but it did die down for a while. So he's just like, this is going to die down too. And he is very proud of the work that he's done as a justice. He doesn't feel like he's done anything wrong. And I don't think he's nervous at all, y'all. He really isn't. Is he going to, step down or retire next year? I hope so. What I'm getting is that Justice Thomas will retire when it's his decision, when he wants to. He won't be pushed into it. He won't be, he won't be pressured into it. He really wants to keep the balance of power as it is right now. So he's planning to stay as long as he possibly can. I don't see him retiring in 2025 or 2026. He's going to hold on as long as he can. Unless there's some kind of health crisis that comes up, some kind of health issue, I feel like he'll stay there as long as he can. I feel like he'll ride it out, and I think he's going to be there for the next 3 or 4 years. I really do. If he has some kind of health issue that would make him step down, then, he would have to. But himself, he doesn't plan on doing it. That's not his plan. Not for now, anyway. Is Justice Alito getting nervous? So did AOC make him nervous? Now, he's a little bit different. I'm getting a little bit of a different vibe from him. All the justices are arrogant to some degree. All of them. They didn't become a justice and not have some kind of arrogance, because you're on the Supreme Court. So there's a little bit of arrogance that goes into that, to some degree, some more than others, of course. But Justice Alito is a bit nervous. He doesn't like having to look over his shoulder. He doesn't like having to be worried that people are talking about him, that he's going out in public, that, half the country hates him. And it doesn't feel good. He's under a lot of stress. He really is. It does not feel good. The neighbors are talking about him. The neighbors don't even like him. And that's got to be very uncomfortable. Can y'all imagine how that feels? But unlike Thomas, he's answered his critics, blaming everything on his wife. Because, he doesn't have the same bravado as Justice Thomas. So he felt like he had to answer. He does still feel very powerful, that, he can get away with anything as long as the Republicans have control. So he is worried that if Trump loses, things are going to change, and he may be in for it. He may be done for. I feel Alito will retire before Justice Thomas does. It will allow him the opportunity to bow out gracefully. So I feel like, he's probably looking forward to retiring. He doesn't want all this raining down on his head. He really doesn't. But, again, what we all want to know is, will Biden cave under the pressure to step aside? Now, he said over and over and over, I'm not stepping aside. I am your nominee. We've already contributed to his campaign, y'all. We've already nominated him. We want him as our president. We've, voted for him. But will he, we're hearing that more and more people, representatives are talking, having little discussions, and pressuring him to step aside. Biden is the light the world is watching. I feel like he has so many people and countries praying for his success to finish what he started, to finish out the next 4 years, to end the right agenda, and to end Trump. He has the backing of the world. Most countries want to see Biden reelected. With so many people praying for your success, how could you not be successful? Biden feels good about the future. He wants to continue serving, until he can no longer serve. He'll just keep on going till he falls down. And that's admirable. It really is. I don't feel that he's going to step aside unless he had a huge health crisis, just like I said about Justice Thomas. Unless he had some, horrible health crisis, he's not going to step aside. And as a matter of fact, I don't see anything in the near future for him having a health crisis. As a matter of fact, I feel like we're going to see Biden looking stronger in the days ahead and having more vitality. Some protocols have been put into place to improve Biden's overall health. We've heard that doctors are coming and going, and that's because they really are putting in some new protocols. And that likely includes some new meds. You know, I hope they give him all and anything that they can to help his brain function, his neuropathy, arthritis, and stiffness. I feel like that's what they're doing. They're addressing that because him looking stiff is making people talk. You know, that doesn't mean your brain's stiff. Doesn't mean you can't, function properly and run the country. But I'm sure he's getting the best care that's available, of course. But just know, I really do think, just watch in the next few days, we're going to see Biden looking very strong and very vital. Other nations are watching the United States, and they see that we're at a pivotal point that could completely change the course of our nation. And they're worried that the people of this nation don't understand what is at stake. And in the end, it'll be too late and Donald Trump will become president. That's the fear. That is the fear. The feeling is that the people of the United States need to be aware of the choices they're making so that they can make a wise decision. And the good news is I saw that Project 2025 is being Googled more than Taylor Swift. Did you see that little graph? And on the graph, there's Taylor Swift way up there. And then there's Project 2025 being Googled way up there. So, yeah, it's more than Taylor Swift, and she's super popular. So that is great news to know. Trump denies that he knows anything about Project 2025. He didn't create it, okay? So he takes that little kernel of truth. I didn't create this, in his brain. He's not saying it, y'all. I didn't create this. No, he's saying, I didn't create this. That's not mine. So he can stretch that kernel of truth. And then he says, I don't know anything about that. He knows about it. And he's lying as usual. And it's just backfiring on him. This is galvanizing the people to ensure Trump doesn't get elected. We will all get through this together. We made it through the 4 years of Trump being president. We made it through a pandemic, and we can get through anything. And we're going to get through this too. Okay, we are. So let's take a breath. Let the calmness wash over you. Be calm. Let's be calm. Everything's going to be okay. The media, they're just focusing on Biden because they're getting the attention that they want. But I heard that, I don't know if it's true, but I did hear that CNN is really going down the tubes, that their viewership has gotten super low. So, yeah, y'all don't watch them. Don't watch anybody that's talking about our president stepping down. Turn them off. Don't watch them. And that's how we can, get around this media. The media thinks they're leading us by the nose because, they're just feeding their pockets because they think we want to watch something because we're worried and fearful. So we want to watch it. And they're just making crap up. They're talking about things over and over and over that aren't true. Biden's going to stay there. He's not going to go anywhere. So let's be calm. It's going to be okay. This too shall pass. Okay? All right, guys. I am going to let you go. If you would like to get a reading with me or you need a healing session, a chakra balancing, a lot of people are feeling very stressed lately. So if you feel like you need a healing session, energy release, help calm you down, please contact me. I'll leave my email down below. I've been doing a lot of work, a lot of healing sessions. I love doing that. That's my favorite thing to do. But of course, I'll do readings too. I'm happy to do whatever service you need. I try to help you and guide you with spirit. So do something kind for somebody. It'll always come back to you. Bye for now.